Hello, Uli. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Now, how did you get involved in the making of Christiane F?
Christiane F. at that time was a famous story in Germany. Everybody read her book, and so did I. And the producer with whom I did the project bought the rights of the book. I was first hesitant because I thought it's a very difficult task to do. But it was after I met Christiane F. personally. After I was considering to do this project, we arranged a meeting with her, and after that afternoon I spent with her, I really got interested because it had a lot to do with her personality, what I was interested in. I was very surprised because she was in the book. I see her. She was mostly described as a victim, but when you met her personally, you saw that she was really She seemed to be a strong person.
What attracted you to the real story of Christiane?
What was so shocking, what was so surprising about this story was that in the late 70s, early 80s in the late 70s in Germany, there was something what nobody talked about. So behind this slick facade of economically high standard country, there was something. There was like a secret agreement of everybody. We don't talk about it. And it was really amazing when I came the first time to Berlin and came to the Bahnhof Zoo, what you could see down there, or in the subways of Kurfürstendamm. You could really see, on a weekend, 500 kids standing there. You know they were there to buy drugs, to use drugs. And the subways were going in and out. People went in and out the subways, going to work, and nobody, and everybody ignored it. This underworld or this other side of a society, the dark side of the society, what's happening, underground. That's what I wanted to bring up.
Now, most of the actors who play in this movie are not professional actors, of course. So how did you select them, and where did you find the young people?
I was actually casting for quite a while, because I did not want to do the movie with any professional actors. I think that was one of the most important decisions, or right decision I did before I started to shoot it, because I did not want everybody in the movie is an amateur. There's no professional young actor in it. I think the only really professional was David Bowie. So I went to schools, and I went to all most of the Berlin schools, and went through those classes. I told the teachers, the directors of those schools, that I'm going to do Christiane F., that I'm looking for kids. I went through the classes in their age, and I saw, me and my assistants saw about 1,000 possibilities just for Christiane F. Before I finally found Nadja Brunkhorst, who played the lead, and all the other.
Nadja, why did you choose her for the role of Christiane?
I mean, it's hard to say. When I was, what did she have? That's always a question, when you cast a movie also with professional actors. What is it? Why you choose this actor and not that actor? And sometimes you choose somebody who is a less professional actor than the other one, for reasons you hardly can explain. I must say this with Nadja Brunkhorst, Nadja was a very shy kid. She was a very shy girl. She was 13 years old, and she came in and she hardly dared to look at me. She was sitting there. She was very intelligent. She was a very good student, I remember, but she was shy, and she had even a slight stutter. And And when you looked at her, she was very skinny. When you looked at her, you would never think she can carry a big movie, or a successful movie like Christiane F. became. But when the camera was on her, we were really mesmerized. How she did it and how convincingly she could play. She came closest to what I understood the real Christiane F. Represented. I remember the shooting was really the most difficult shoot I had in my life. I mean, from all the work I did, it was a very hard shoot. It was a hard shoot because I needed a lot of patience. We started during the school vacation of the kids, but then they had to go back to school. I had to wait, till they came out back from school. We picked them up in buses, and we started to shoot in the afternoon. So, and we also, the law did not allow to work with kids in Germany, underage kids, more than so and so many hours. I think it was 4 or 5 hours. And the law did not allow to work with kids at night. Now I was really in trouble because most of the movie plays at night. So I needed special agreements with the parents, and I also wanted to keep the kids out of the scene, of the so-called scene drug scene in Berlin. On the other hand, I had to shoot the movie most on location, on the real location. I was shooting at the Bahnhof Zoo. I was shooting at the Kurfürstendamm in the subways. I was shooting in the public toilets. And so that was basically very depressing. And we constantly were confronted with real drug addicts, young drug addicts, who also came to us and asked, can we play in the background and get some money for it? So that was also, it was a big conflict for me because, and I was even in the press at that time, I was attacked for it. And my decision was, should I give this kid, just stay in the background, play our background, use him for the movie, or let him go on the street, sell himself for, for 50, 20 Deutschmark? What should I do? So often I said, guys, just stay here. You know, if you hang around, you can also be in the background and you can make a little bit of money there. So yeah, it was a conflict, and it still gives me the chills when I think about it.
How did you approach the directing of the movie?
I mean, there are different ways to approach somebody who has no, no experience. You approach him different than you approach a professional actor. And yes, I had some experience how to do this. So it's a simple example when the kids, when they had to play on drugs, right? I did not say, okay, when you shoot heroin, the heroin goes through the vein, 7 seconds later it hits you, it hits the head, you have your flash. So I did not want to get involved and not explain too much what drugs doing to the kids. I approached it differently. I said, you feel very sleepy. You feel, you're, just imagine your eyelids are heavy like lead, right? You hardly can hold them open. So, I mean, so they did it playful. They kind of said your whole face is kind of like paralyzed. It's, so it gave her this expression, that the mouth is hanging down, the eyelids are hanging down, the whole face, and she is really, she made this transformation to a really believable drug addict, and it was fun to do it. And we never used the word drugs, and we never talked about it. Another example is, for instance, instead of saying to a kid, before you get on cold turkey, you need to get the new drug. You want to have the next shot, because you are addicted. So not to go into details of a cold turkey, you can also use another image. You can say, imagine you have a strong rubber band on your chest is connected to the band of Sue over there. And it's very tight and it pulls you there. Now just imagine that strong rubber band pulling you to the band of Sue. And the way she walked and started to run to there gave the expression, you know, what it means to get in panic to get the next drug.
How did this movie affect your personal life and your professional career?
I must say not so much, not so much. It was, I went on with my career. It was for a while, it was a huge buzz in Europe, also here in the States. And yes, it was, we were surprised. I was very surprised. Because you have to understand, when the movie, when I had finished the movie, I did a screening for distributors in Germany. The screening was devastating. It was devastating. Nobody of all those people in this screening who know at least the business, they were distributors, predicted any success for the movie. They said, it is a drug movie. Never a drug movie made any money. People are not interested in this dark subject matter. It is a movie about a young prostitute. There's no sex in the movie. It's pretty bleak. It's shot with a handheld camera. It's pretty gritty. Nobody gave me any prospect for any success. So that success came out of the blue. It was completely it. We started the movie, and the next day there were long lines in the theaters, and me, my producer, we were completely surprised. We were sure we were pleased, but it was not. But we were completely surprised. It came out of the blue.